good to come to you again one more time. This is Dr. William Lee coming to you with my co-host Donna Thomas. We're coming to you from People Touching People Forum. And so, Ms. Thomas, welcome again.
Thank you.
Another discussion.
Yes.
As we are about to address one of the most important topics out there.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be a wonderful evening this evening, Ms. Thomas. So welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
And of course, our topic for the evening, Ms. Thomas, is going to be the danger of procrastination.
Yep.
Isn't that something?
Oh, yes.
And so this is a very, very important topic, and we look forward to diving into it, Ms. Thomas, and to get all the nuggets out of this wonderful teaching. So let's get right into it. Welcome again to you, Ms. Thomas. What is procrastination from your perspective? What would you say procrastination is?
Procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something.
Yes.
It can be defined as also to keep delaying something that must be done, often because it's unpleasant or boring.
Wow. Okay.
To be slow or late about doing something that should be done. To delay doing something until a later time because you do not want to do it, because you are lazy, etc.
Wow.
Procrastination sometimes is not necessarily due to laziness or irresponsibility. It is also caused by a lack of motivation, confidence, and sometimes guidelines. And there are so many different reasons why people procrastinate.
Tell us.
And I'll just list a few of them.
Okay.
So people procrastinate for various reasons, such as lack of organizational skills, low energy level, lack of understanding, lack of motivation, fear of failure, lack of confidence, prone to distraction, concentration problem. Procrastination is not a matter solely of having poor time management skills, but rather can be traced to underlying and more complex psychological reasons. For the most part, our reasons for delaying and avoiding are rooted in fear and anxiety about doing poorly, of doing too well, of losing control, of looking stupid, of having of having one's sense of self or self-control challenged.
So procrastination, you would admit with me, then agree with me, it's a psychological issue which falls on the mental illness.
That's right.
Wow, that's going to be very interesting tonight as we discuss this further into this topic. And the danger of procrastination. A few questions we have which we would like to address for our audience. Number one, as we just said, what are the negative impact? And there are many of procrastination, Ms. Thomas. Is procrastination healthy? Is it healthy for our bodies? Is it healthy for us? And the third question we would like to address, what can we learn this evening from procrastination? Ms. Thomas, as I was in my meditation, I was reading the Bible. Some call it the good book, but we call it the word of the Lord, the Bible. And I was amazed to see how many scriptures, how many verses of scriptures in the Bible that address
procrastination,
this topic of procrastination. And so you have a few examples to give us. Please tell us some of them.
I do. And the first one that we're going to look at, Ephesians 5:15 to 16, it says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil." And it continuing on, I'm also going to reference Romans 13, verse 11. And do this, understanding the present time. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber. Because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. And continuing on, Psalm 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Proverbs 24:33 to 34. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Proverbs 6:6-8. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler. Yet it stores provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 13 verse 4. A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied.
Continue. You have any more
and
scriptures?
We have a few more scriptures that talks about procrastination.
Please tell us.
So Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4 says,
yes,
whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Proverbs 20. The verse is not here. Sluggards do not plow in season, so at harvest time they look but find nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. There is a time for everything and a season for everything, every activity under the heavens.
Wow. Okay.
Proverbs 14 verse 23. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty.
Wow.
Galatians 6 verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up.
Let's stop for a moment. This is quite interesting, and there's so many other scriptures, illustrations in the Bible, in the New Testament, Old Testament, that addressed this topic of procrastination.
Yes.
So it is a very important topic, and it affects every person, in every facet of life.
That's right.
I have a question for you, Ms. Thomas. As you were reading, I'm thinking about myself.
Yes.
Have you ever procrastinated?
Of course, all the time.
We all fall into that.
Yes, we
I
do,
have done that a number of times, but we learn, don't we?
Yes.
You know, and oftentimes, we said, well, tomorrow, we'll put it off for tomorrow. We have reason because we are busy.
Yes.
But it's like there's an old Spanish proverb that says, Mañana. Mañana never comes.
Oh, tomorrow
never comes. I'm busy today. I'll put it off for tomorrow. And then, but it's a very important topic, serious topic that persons out there have major issues with procrastination.
And as you mentioned before, it's a mental health issue.
It is. And we're going to look and see why persons want to get deeper, why some people procrastinate, for what reason. And so let's get a bit deeper as we go further. How can we overcome our tendency then to procrastinate? I want to know. Since all of us procrastinate.
Yes, we do.
And we know also there's negatives to procrastination.
Yes.
How can we overcome that? How can we become successful in our decisions? Why do we procrastinate? Why don't we get into that, Mr.
Yes, and I have a few reasons why people, how we can overcome our tendency to procrastinate.
Yes.
So the first one, to overcome procrastination, you must have an understanding of the reason why you procrastinate and the function.
Yes, that's important. Go ahead.
Procrastination serves in your life.
So let me see if I can paraphrase what you're telling me. One of the first steps of overcoming procrastination, you must have an awareness.
Exactly.
Why you're procrastinating.
Yeah. Why do you keep putting off things?
It is important. So we have to go back to the roots.
That's right.
The root cause. We have to be able to face the reality.
Yes.
Ask the serious questions. Why do we procrastinate? And then, of course, we take it from there.
Yes.
All right. Do you have anything else?
Of course, I do.
Please tell us.
To overcome procrastination, time management techniques and tools are indispensable.
Oh, you have to paraphrase that one for us. Time management.
Yes.
Wow, what does that mean?
It means planning. So when we procrastinate, we put it off for various reasons, as we said. So if you want to break it down in small tasks or small steps. So when you finish one step, you go on to the next, which will make it easier because sometimes you have some tasks and it seems so overwhelming. It's like you don't know where to start.
That is right.
But the important thing is to start with the smallest steps first.
Yes.
And then gradually you will be able to accomplish all of your tasks.
You know, there's a saying, Miss Thomas, that time wait for no
man.
Mm-hmm. Time management.
Yes.
And we have to be honest, some of us are very undisciplined when it comes on to our time. Especially those of us from the islands. You know, in our organization, as you know, Miss Thomas, we have meetings at 7 o'clock p.m. Sunday morning, we have meetings at 11. And you know, the president is so disciplined. 11 o'clock is 11 o'clock. We don't start at 11:30.
Agreed.
Because we respect time.
Exactly.
You know, so time management, as you rightly says, is very crucial.
Yes.
In order for us to address these things rather than trying to put off and to find excuses.
Yes.
Powerful. Anything else, Miss Thomas?
Absolutely.
Yes.
To overcome procrastination, it is critical that you stay motivated for productive reasons, which is having reasons for learning and achieving that lead to positive, productive, and satisfying feelings and actions.
Wow. So, are you saying then that to overcome procrastination, when you're working on a project, you have to be motivated?
Exactly.
And lack of motivation, you become careless.
That's right.
You put it off.
That's
right. For whatever reason. But when you're motivated, and I've always said, Miss Thomas, anything that you and I are passionate about will always be successful.
Exactly.
So that's one of the area of overcoming procrastination. Become passionate over the project that you're working on. Look at the finished product.
Yes.
You know, the success that it will become.
Because if you're passionate about something, it comes so easily.
I have
because you look forward to do it. Because it's something that you love, you enjoy doing.
I have many experiences, but this one I always remember when I was in high school in Jamaica. Of course, I'm the academic guy. I'm not good with my hands making stuff. So, but one of the classes that we had to take in high school is an elective. Either you take an electrical class, a plumbing class, or carpenter class. And when I look at it, I went to the electrical room with all the oil. I could not do that. I just
that wasn't your passion.
The electrical, I was afraid of the electricity, and so I was placed into the woodwork class, even though I didn't like it.
Yes.
And I never forget, Miss Thomas. You know, I'm trying to get away from this, but I realize I have to. And I remember in the class, you have boards, piece of boards, and you have to put a design of the thing that you're going to make.
Yeah.
And my friend, Israel Carter, he made a medicine cabinet. He was good at that stuff.
Okay.
So what I did, I drew a fish. The best I knew on the board. So now you have to cut it out and you have to sand it down and you have to make it into a beautiful fish. And I really had problem. Honestly, I despise it. I didn't want to be in there. Give me maths, give me English, give me those subjects, biology. That's my field. However, the teacher, I never forget, he's he's an Irishman, he's from England, a Caucasian teacher. And every time I get to class and I'm trying to get around this thing, I have no interest. He said something to me. I still remember it. One day he looked at me and said, William, if anything worth doing, it is worth doing well.
True.
Would you believe, Mr. Thomas? Those words stayed in my mind, and those were the motivational word that motivated me.
Yes.
I finished that fish. And I tell you, we had a Western Jamaica Fair display celebration where Western High School come together. It was conducted at CC, Cornwall College in Mobile.
Yes.
And you will take the best of your products in the high school to display. Would you believe my fish, I got first prize in my fish.
And just because your teacher said that to you,
He said,
right?
William, if anything worth doing, it is worth doing well.
Good.
And we remember at the end of the year, it was in June, July, he was going back, when classes are finished, he's going back to England. And you know he bought the fish.
Oh, nice.
He bought the fish from me. It was such and you know how much he gave me? I still remember. He gave me $9 for that fish. Now, in those days, I was a millionaire because $9 in those days was lots of money. And he bought the fish and took it with him back to England.
Yes.
So there has to be motivation. You have to be motivated in what you're doing, and you have to be able to see the finished product.
Exactly.
You have to be positive.
Yes.
If not, you will be controlled by procrastination.
Exactly.
So that's what many of my experience. That's one I always remember.
And I like to share this experience too.
Please.
So last week at work, I was not really forced, but I had to chair a meeting that I've never done before.
Yes.
And when I was called on at the last minute to do the meeting, I was saying, oh my gosh, I've never done it before. And I have all these appointments in my scheduler.
Yeah.
How am I going to do it? So this is me like procrastinating, not wanting to do it. And then the person who was supposed to be the lead, but she was not going to be at work. So that means I am the backup, so I have to step in. And he said, would you like me to ask another staff to do it? I said, no, I can do it. I just shuffle around, move around some stuff in my scheduler, and I called the clients and asked if I can meet with them earlier. They agreed, and I did that. And I did the meeting, and I'm telling you, it was wonderfully done. And even today, one of the supervisors came, and she gave me a hug, because at the end of the meeting, I was giving them this pep talk about it being the holidays, and, if you can't say hi to someone, just give them a smile, because we don't know what people are going through, right? So that was me getting everything done. The meeting was beautiful. And so the person who was supposed to do the meeting messaged me this morning, how did the meeting go? I said, it went well. I was like a pro.
There you go. Again, motivated. Motivated.
Exactly.
For productive reasons. Finally, you got to yourself and said, I have to do this.
Exactly.
And you see the end result.
Yes.
I remember so many more, but this one, when I came to Canada, I came up on a student visa, and these are real experiences. And I went to college for 4 years. I did business administration and management. And in those days, Ms. Thomas, now we have computer. In those days, we had the typewriter.
Yes.
And I'll never forget this. One of the course I had to do was typewriting.
Oh.
I despise that. I'm telling you, about 2 or 3 semesters I skipped. I'm trying to get around that. Because I look at the typewriter, I look at the keys, and it's like I see they're about to attack me. And I'm trying to get away. And finally, I'm passing all the exam, but this is one that is still standing. And so I was forced into the class. And I'm telling you, when I got there, I thank God for persons who help to motivate us. I was sitting in the computer, and for the life of me, the typewriter I was just touching. You have the bars, right?
ASDF, semicolon, LKJ.
I'm looking now, ASDF, semicolon, LK, and I'm going at that. And finally, the instructor came over to me. I'll never forget. He says, Lee, I want you to get up from this typewriter, and I want you to come with me. And he put me on the other side. Watch this now, because remember, I'm looking at the keys. So I know ASDF, semicolon, LKJ. I'm looking at them with my finger. And he put me over there on the side, and all the keys were covered with tape.
Oh, dear.
Did you get it?
Yes.
The keys were covered.
So you have to remember, which is...
I tell you, I was dying. I tried to find, how am I going to get away from this? And the funny thing is, there are different steps that you have to go. Number one, you have to be able to finish in 1 minute, 30 words.
It's usually typed.
30 words with 3 mistakes. You go from 30 words to 45 words to 55 words at the end. And finally, my fingers and my brains began to work. I had to. And I was able to finish the exam of the 30 words with 3 mistakes. I thought, wow. But then I still have to go further to 45 words.
Yes. And you have to practice the other keys too.
And I'm going. And then coming up now to the next exam, 45 words, with only, I think it was 2 words, 2 mistakes.
2 mistakes.
I finally made it. Now the big one now is 55 words when you're going to write the final exam with 1 error. Ms. Thomas, I must tell you, I thank God for the teacher. I thank God for somebody who saw the potential in me.
That's
and
right.
challenged me.
Yes.
I was able to finish the typing and pass the exam. 55 words in 1 minute with 1 mistake.
Yes.
And today, I'm a at my computer. I have no problem. I can type because of the discipline
exactly
that I was forced to learn. So being we're talking about motivation. It's important. It is important. And so sometimes we are not motivated ourselves, but other people come
and they motivate.
Us.
They do.
So that's a powerful part you have there.
Yes.
It is critical that you stay motivated.
That's right.
For productive reasons. I love that. I love that, as you read.
Yes.
Is there any others for us?
Yes, here's another one. To overcome procrastination, you must stay actively engaged in your chores.
Wow.
You must get involved in the project with your all.
Tell us about that.
Because a lot of times, because of our refusal or to do something or to complete a task, we started half-heartedly, and then it's not done properly. It's not done, let's say it's work-related, it's not done to your supervisor's liking. So it all defeats the purpose because if you're not going in motivated, if you're not going in there to finish the task and finish it well, it's a waste of time.
That's right. You have to put yourself into it.
Yes.
You have to be able to visualize the finished product. Going through the raw material, going through the process, but you know where you're going.
Exactly.
You know, just like what we have, this podcast. Remember, we talked about it. It was a thought that came. And after I did investigation, realized this is needed within the community, within our world. We spoke about it, and we got excited, and look at it today.
Yes.
Amen. We throw ourselves into it, and we set everything in order. We have our engineer, or the person in charge of the production, you, myself, and so many people are commending us for the project.
Because they're tapping into what we're doing here.
So it's very, very important. Let's talk about some tips further.
Yes.
How about tips? Because folks want to know. They might say, well, someone might say, I'm having a problem.
Yes.
I hear you. I can relate to what you're saying, but I need some answers. I need some tips. How can I overcome this issue that I'm facing?
Yes.
Let's see if we can give a few thoughts there.
Absolutely.
On that note, Ms. Thomas.
So the first one is awareness.
Okay.
Reflect on the reasons why you procrastinate.
All right.
Your habits and your thoughts that lead to procrastination.
Wow.
What are the things? What are you thinking? Because remember, a lot of things, it starts with the mind.
Come on now.
Right? So if you have a clear mind entering that project or doing that task, of course you're going to be effective, right?
All right. The reason is important.
Exactly.
What is the reason that caused you to procrastinate? We are working on an assignment. You're procrastinating. Go back, as you said. Sit down. Think about it.
Yes.
Why am I procrastinating over this? What are the negatives? What are the positives?
Yes.
What's the reason? That's the foundation, isn't it?
Yes.
You have to be able to be honest with yourself. You have to be able to confront the matter head on.
True.
And find out, because there has to be a cause.
There has to be a reason. Yes.
Yeah, powerful. Let's go further then.
Outlook. What feelings lead to procrastinating, and how does it make you feel? Are these positive, productive feelings? Do you want to change them?
Let's stop right there. Outlook. What feelings leads you to procrastinating? You started. A lot of folks, Miss Thomas, they start strong.
Yes.
But they end weak. They start with fire, but at the end of the race, they become cold.
Yes.
So if you start out with strength and we are energetic and we are excited, what is it? That causes us to become cold.
But too, it could be some of the internal forces too.
Oh, yes.
Both internal and external.
Oh, yes.
Because when you're talking about internal, you could be talking about triggers, feelings, emotions. External could be social media.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
I must confess to you, Miss Thomas. I have a sister, without naming names. I have a number of sisters and I love them all. But this sister, she can take nothing and create something out of nothing. That's how industrious she is.
Yes.
And I followed her. Very creative, very energetic, very when she starts something, she's on fire.
Yes.
But I often tell her, I said, you're a good starter, but you're a poor finisher.
That's right.
She never finishes. And she goes from one project to the next, to the next, to the next. On the contrary, they all know, and it has been attested in my life, I'm a starter, but I'm also a finisher.
Yeah.
When I start a project, I always work it through to the end.
And that's important.
It's very important.
Why are you going to have a lot of unfinished tasks, a lot of unfinished projects?
That's right.
Nothing finished.
That's right.
It makes no sense.
The purpose.
Yeah,
so
it defeats the purpose.
Some of our friends might be listening, Ms. Thomas, and they can attest to the fact that they can start a project. They're very good in starting something.
But not in completing.
They're not completing, not finishing. Yes. So now here you said a feeling outlook. What feelings lead you to procrastinate? Go back. And how does it make you feel? Are these positive feelings, negative feelings? You have to do an assessment.
Yes.
You assess your position.
That's right.
Why you get to that state of being negative over something you're excited about.
Yes.
All right? Are we good in that one?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Thomas. Anyone else?
Commit. If you feel stuck, start simply by committing to complete a small task and write it down.
All right.
Finish it and reward yourself.
All right.
And I think this is very important.
Please
because a lot of times we
yes.
do things and we finish one task and we do not even say you did well.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of us also, we wait on someone else to tell us.
Yes, yes.
We can say to ourselves, that was a job well done. We can treat ourselves to something.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that's important because a lot of times we like for example, when I finished my master's and I said, I need to go on a trip. I didn't actually go on a trip, but that would be me rewarding myself for a lot of sleepless nights.
Yes.
Sometimes I get 1 hour sleep and then have to go to work the next morning because it was so much. So it is important that we reward ourselves after we've completed a task.
Yes. And you know, as a psychologist and a doctor, I've had to address with persons some of these matters. I got a call some time ago from a lady, and her daughter is in high school. Person that I know, and her daughter trying to finish to graduate, but no, she was in high school, and she was struggling with this course. She has to pass this in order to graduate.
Yeah,
you know, and the mother confessed to me that she was really putting stress, pressure on the daughter, but the daughter was struggling.
Yes,
and she's not going to graduate because she had to pass this. And I said to the mother, "Listen, relax. I'm going to get involved." You know what I did? I sat down with the family. I said to the mother, leave us alone. I sat with the young lady, and she was crying. She says, I can't do this. And my mom, and I said to her, look, this is what I'm going to propose. You're struggling with this one. Yeah? Let's leave this one for now.
Yes.
Let's take another one, similar, that you know you're going to pass.
Yes.
Because what that does, it motivates you.
Exactly.
You know, it builds your confidence again.
Yes, because if you think you can if you do this one, then sure. Yes, and you're gonna be like over the moon.
You know,
you've completed this. Yes, I can face the other one.
Do you know that's what we did? And she went, left this one for this semester and went and took another one. And she passed it. And then when the time was right, she went back and passed the other one. As a matter of fact, she went to college and she went on to university.
Yeah, because she's now motivated.
She's so motivated. And then so we talked about take on little task.
Yes.
Some persons they want to take on the mountain, but the mountain is too humongous. The mountain is out of your reach. Forget about the mountain. Take the small hills. Gradually.
Start at the foot,
there you go.
At the bottom of the mountain. Don't look up there.
That's right.
Because if you look up at the mountain, you're going to be so overwhelmed. Just take it one step at a time.
And that is so important. I mean, that is, you know, I must tell you, I confess to you, I did, when I was doing the real estate course, I have my Bachelor of Science, my MBA, my doctorate. No, I didn't reach, did I finish my doctorate? Not yet, but almost there. And I decided to do the real estate course. Miss Thomas, I never failed an exam. I don't remember I failed an exam. My brains, and it was mortgage financing, Miss Thomas. I knew it just like that. And I went the morning I'll never forget. There was something happening in my circle at that time, that weekend.
Yes.
And I went to the exam and I sat down. And I know my brains, I was blacked out. Mentally, I could not remember anything.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the paper. And I had a complete
blackout
because there was so much I was going through at that particular weekend. And, you know, I failed the exam. I couldn't believe it.
It happened.
I literally, I'm confessing to you, I wept when the test came, when the result came. I couldn't believe it. But Lee, how could you fail? But I remember nothing was there.
Yes.
And 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, you know, I went back. My mind was in order.
Yes.
And I passed it just like that.
Good.
So sometimes you have to, you have to reassess your situation. Sometimes you have to step back. You know, don't give
Absolutely.
up. And, you know, relax yourself. Sometimes you have to just, you know, and then reassess, as I said, relax, reverse, go back, consider, evaluate.
Or press a pause.
There you go.
Just pause a little. Just take a little break.
I love that.
Yes.
Pause.
Sometimes we have to take a little pause.
Yes.
And then we start again.
That is so important. Let's go further. This is
surroundings. When doing a project, choose wisely where and with whom you are working.
How about commit? Yes, man. Commit.
If you feel stuck,
all right.
Start simply by committing to complete a small task and write it down and finish and reward yourself.
Oh, well, you basically say that, you know, which is good. Okay.
And then for surroundings, when doing a project, choose wisely where and with whom you are working.
I love that.
Yep.
Can you paraphrase that?
Yes.
Choose wisely your surroundings and with whom.
Yes.
That's important.
Because if you're in a surrounding where there's a lot of distractions, then you won't be able to complete your task.
Yes.
If you're around a lot of friends who are working with different ulterior motives, then how are you going to finish your projects? Because they wanted to go party and you want to stay and study, or at work you have a task completing, but this coworker is just in your ears about what they did over the weekend, and it's distracting. Right? You are at let's say you're doing some extra work and you decide to go to the mall where there are shops. That's a distraction. That's a distraction. So you have to be very careful about your surroundings and the people that you surround yourselves with.
You know, there's a saying, Miss Thomas, that there are two types of people in our world today. They're the chicken mentality and the eagles mentality. It's choice, isn't it?
Yes.
We can choose to hang out with chickens or we can soar with the eagles.
That's right.
And so my mother always tells us, always connect yourself with somebody who knows a little more than you do.
I totally agree.
It is important.
Yes, I agree.
Because then they'll take you to another level.
To a higher level.
So you even surrounded making decisions of people you connect yourself with. It's important. It's choice, isn't it?
Yes.
It's choice. So this is a very powerful topic right there.
Yes.
Very powerful topic. And many people need to learn this. Because if you hang around people that are just wasting time.
Yeah.
You're negative people.
Where are you going? If you're hanging around people that are wasting time.
It's called transfer of the spirit.
Exactly. Transference of spirit. That's right.
Connect with people that are motivated.
Yes.
And that they will also motivate you. And you will be successful. You will succeed.
Exactly.
Isn't that, Mr. Thomas?
Because if you're working towards a goal, then you have to always strive to go one step higher each time. But if you're hanging out with friends who have no plans, no goals, no aim, no purpose, then what does that put you?
Even university, I'm sure you have done that and you're still in that. When we have group assignments, have you ever been in group assignments?
Oh yes, oh my Lord.
Every person has to carry his or her own weight.
Yes.
And sometimes you find somebody in there that are not pulling the weight.
Exactly. And
have you ever had that experience?
I've had that experience and I'm telling you, let me tell you, viewers, I had this experience. I did my portion of the work and I did a wonderful job. And can you believe I got an F? Do you know why? One person,
there you go.
That one person did not understand the assignment.
There you go.
So which resulted in the whole group of us
right.
getting at it.
Right.
That was my first. Can you imagine how I felt that day?
If you had to do it again, would you select that person to work with?
Oh, no. And even my daughter, who is now in university, she called me the other day, Mom, can you believe I got 100% on my portion?
Wow.
And the fella, he didn't do. I ended up getting a C, and she was just good because I'm telling you, when she's hurting, I'm hurting because I'm feeling the brunt of it. She's calling me from university, Mom, can you believe, Mom? And I have to try to coax her to tell her, you know what? It's okay. These things happen. These things happen.
It's amazing. So, what is the word? And we have to be very careful of the persons in which we connect ourselves with.
That's right.
And we bring into our circle to work on projects for us.
Yes.
Look for positive people. Look for people who are vigilant.
Who are going somewhere.
Right, motivated people. And we'll be successful. They come to help us to excel and to grow and to develop and to become successful. That's very important. This is a powerful subject matter tonight. Ms. Thomas, let's go further. I think there's some more there.
Yes, there is.
How about goals? Yes.
Focus on what you want to do, not what you want to avoid.
Okay.
Think about the productive reasons for doing that task by setting positive, concrete, meaningful learning and achievement goals for yourself. That means that you have to remain focused, right? You have to set positive goals, realistic goals too, right? Meaningful goals. Let's say, for example, I'm here sitting here and let me use another example. So I used to work with people with disabilities.
Yes, come on.
And one client, he said he wanted to be a fire truck driver.
All right.
He wanted to drive the fire truck. We know that's an unrealistic goal, right? How are we going to help him to achieve this goal?
That's right. Come on.
The only thing we can do, take him to a fire station and let him sit in the seat.
All right.
Because there is no way.
All right.
Based on his disabilities, there is no way that he'll be able to be a truck driver. So him sitting in the seat, that's like him meeting his goal right there.
Of course, and he's quite happy.
Yes, and he's very happy.
Let's take another focus. It says focus on what you want to do.
Yes.
Not on
what you want to avoid.
There's a saying about if you take a glass, Miss Thomas, with water, but put the water half of the glass, you'll be surprised. There are two types of perspective here. One person will tell you, I see the glass half full. The other will say, I see the glass half empty. How would you see the glass?
Well, it all depends. It all depends. Right. Because if you put this bottle of water and it's what? The negative person is going to say, but it's only half.
All right, there you go.
The positive person will say, but it's half full. At least something is in it. You know what I mean? So,
it depends on one perspective.
Exactly.
We see, because of our training and experience, we'll see the positive side.
That's right.
That the glass is half full.
Something is in it, yes.
So that's what they're saying. Focus on what you want to see, what you want to do, rather than focusing on the things that you can't do.
Exactly.
The former president of the United States, folks might know him. His name was Barack Obama. And one of the catch phrase that he used to win the election was, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Come on now. And the more he repeats it, it becomes a catchphrase, and people begin to repeat, yes, I can. Yes, that's positive.
Yes.
In spite of the challenges.
In spite of the challenges. Yes.
So, in this focus area, let us focus on the positive.
Yes.
And tell ourselves, it might be a hard task, might be difficult, but we can succeed. Isn't that something?
Absolutely.
That's powerful. All right. Absolutely. This is wonderful, Miss Thomas. Wonderful. Let's go further.
Be realistic. Achieving goals and changing habits take time and effort.
Yes.
Don't sabotage yourself by having unrealistic expectations that you cannot meet.
How do we paraphrase that? I've said it, Mr. Thomas. And it's good. All of us want to be pilots, and all of us want to be doctors, and all of us want to be lawyers. Yeah, because that is what being portrayed.
That's right.
Out there, and there's a mindset that's where the money is. But we again, being realistic means we know all of us are not going to be doctors and lawyers.
Not at all.
There's some folks that are very skillful with their hands.
Yes.
There's some folks that have intellectual abilities. So the key here, Miss Thomas, to be realistic, we know what our abilities are. We know what we are good at. So therefore, you're saying to me goals. That if I can't be a doctor by going to university, a brain surgeon, but I'm good at my hands, I'm good at electrical work, I'm good at plumbing, be the best.
Be the best.
That's what you're saying. Be realistic.
Yes.
You know, folks are still living in dream world. There are folks out there, you know. I have a cousin, he died now, Mikey by name. Every time I go to Jamaica, Mikey is going to cut a CD. He wants to be Bob Marley, and he dressed like Bob Marley. And every time, we're still waiting for him to cut a CD. Sometimes I say, Mikey, sing me a song. He can't sing. But next time, cause I'm going to cut, and his dream is he's going to go international.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he died. He never, and the way he died, unfortunately. But and he would never do anything else. Yes. He's going to be a singer.
Yeah.
And some people are like that.
Yes.
They are living in a dream world. Let's bring it home. Let's be real.
They're being unrealistic.
What is it that you're good at?
Yes.
Thank God for the carpenters. Thank God for the plumbers.
Yeah.
Come on. Thank God for the electrician and the mechanics. We need them.
Because they're all needed. Even the garbage collector.
Talk to me.
All of us with our different tasks, our different jobs, we are all needed because it's a chain.
There you go.
It's a chain that goes around. Can you imagine there were no garbage collectors? We'd be walking on garbage to go to work.
All right. Can
you imagine there'd be no driver? Let's say for persons who take the bus, there are no drivers, nobody to drive the bus. How are we going to get to work?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So that means we have to be realistic. And anything that we are good at, let us put our all. Let us be real. Let us put our all energy. How about a chef?
Oh, yes.
You know, I only dream to be a chef, but I know I'm not a chef. So, at home, I leave the chef to my wife.
Yes.
And she does a good job.
Oh, yes.
I have to tell you this. When I go into the kitchen and open the cupboard, it's like all this stuff in the cupboard want to jump at me. So I stay out of the kitchen. That's her domain. Am I right? But again, I know I am good outside. I'm good in the garage.
Exactly.
So I do what I'm good at.
Yes.
Just like yourself. Am I right?
Exactly.
So this is a powerful word, Miss Thomas. Become realistic.
Be realistic.
Be realistic. Achieving your goal. Know what you're good at.
Yes.
And do your best to the best of your ability. What about the next one?
Self-talk.
Yes, please.
Notice how you're thinking and talking to yourself.
Yes.
Talk to yourself in ways that remind you of your goals and replace old counterproductive habits of self-talk. Instead of saying I can't, say I will and I can.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yep.
Powerful. So you're saying then we have to talk to ourselves at times.
I talk to myself all the time.
I'm working on projects and I talk to myself. You heard the message I preached on Sunday. It was in the plane coming from Jamaica, way up in the sky there in the night. And I heard this thought.
Yes.
And I began to write.
Yes.
And it's amazing how it became a blessing. Because what I saw by writing the notes and going through, I saw the finished product already. I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yes.
Come on. And so it's important we have to tell ourselves.
Yes.
Also, the thoughts. Many persons, unfortunately, have told themselves they are failures because they have listened to people speaking negative over their lives for years, and they believe it.
Yes.
But how many know God never creates a failure?
Never.
God always creates the best. And so in the image of God, in the eyes of God, we are the best.
That's
so we have to tell ourselves who we are.
That's right.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So here it is, right? As we talked about self-talk. What about on schedule?
If you feel stuck, you probably won't use a schedule that is a constant reminder of all that you have to do, and it's all work and no play.
Come on.
So make a largely unconstructed, flexible schedule in which you can slot in only what is necessary.
Come on.
Yes, because a lot of times we over.
Yes.
What do we call it? Like we take on too much.
Too much.
Right? And then we don't have time to finish each one. Yeah. And then we procrastinate and say, I'm going to do it. When there's no time.
Here's another thing. You're studying. And we've all been there. We are there now writing thesis or whatever. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
And we're dying trying to finish.
Yes.
What about getting up?
Oh, Lord.
Take a while. Go to the refrigerator. Get some water. Relax yourself. And then come back.
Yes.
But for the moment you're there trying and nothing ain't coming and you're frustrating yourself and frustration comes in and you're losing energy. No, you're losing sleep. It's okay to take a walk.
You might be doing a paper and then the thoughts are flowing and you're typing and then suddenly you're stuck.
Oh, yes.
And it's like,
that's right.
You're trying to write one sentence, and that one sentence is taking forever because you're tired. You just need to take a minute and just relax, and then come back at it.
Come on.
Yeah, I often do that.
It can reduce feelings of being overwhelmed and increase satisfaction in what you have to get done. That's it, And so, Miss Thomas, I think this is a wonderful subject matter, and we know that it has. The topics that we have been discussing weeks after week has become a blessing to so many people.
Very much
and so I will ask you to share the last word, Ms. Thomas.
Yes. So just to finish this, keep track of any time you spend working towards your goal and reward yourself for this.
Come on.
This can reduce feelings of being overwhelmed and increase satisfaction in what you get done.
Excellent.
Right. So
excellent.
So as we share these thoughts about procrastination, we hope that you put some of these into practice, especially for those persons who procrastinate a lot, who take on too much. Right. So just look back on the podcast and follow some of these that we've set out, some of these principles that we've set out for you to follow. So we thank you so much for joining us. Wow. And again, we ask you to like and share our podcast, and you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts. So thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to your feedback as always.
And so we want to thank you also, as Miss Donna says, I want to thank you for joining with us. I just want to acknowledge our staff that they are part of this program, our engineer, Mr. Malcolm London, and our producer, Mrs. Stacy and Campbell. We want to thank them, and Miss Donna Thomas, co-host, and my name, as you heard before, is Dr. William Lee. And of course, we're coming to you from People Touching People Forum. And I want to also thank the ministry that is behind us, that are part of supporting us, that is connected to us, is Victory World Impact Ministry. The telephone number is 416-282-1101. Thank you all for joining with us tonight. We pray that, again, this has been a blessing to you. Please, let us hear from you. We'd love to hear. Thank you for those that are sending in reports, encouraging words, and so forth and so on. Thank you. May God richly bless you, and we look forward to see you again next week as we have another topic to discuss. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you
God
so much.
It's always a joy.
Remember,
to work with you.
at the People Touching People Forum, it's each one, reach one.
Excellent.
So we are reaching out to you.
Excellent.
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.